What's going on, Sofa Squad? If you want to find out what I think is very possibly the fastest way to power your character up, both level wise and power level wise, on Marvel's Avengers, then stay tuned. That's coming up next.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Whee.
Welcome back, all you guys and girls. So, if you're struggling to kind of hit that cap of 150 as such, or you're struggling to just level up your character in general, then there's a few things that you'll need to know. Now, the first thing, and probably the foremost thing, would be that there are two kinds of level. There's actually your character level, which goes up to 50, and then there's your overall power level. So if you look up the top here, I'm at 142, because I change my gear an awful lot and try and find better stuff all the time. But what you want to hit is 150, that is the absolute max. Now that's basically an accumulation of all of these pieces of gear, these two over this side, and then when you get your major artifact to 10. So basically you'll get all of your gear to 140 and the last 10 will be your major artifact, equaling the 150. And as you can see here when we're on our skills, our character level is 50, which at the moment is the max level you can get to. Why you want to get your character level up is because every time you unlock your level, you're able to purchase more skills, which are really handy for taking out the enemies and just through getting through the content in the game. If you haven't unlocked many of these, you will struggle to actually do some of the content or just take a very long time in general. So what I would recommend would be kind of an amalgamation of both. I think the best thing to do is get a little bit of skills underneath your belt, so you want to level your actual character up, and what I find really easy for that, so here we are at the war table, and obviously I'm talking about this as once you've completed the campaign, you're going to go to the Helicarrier, and then if you have a little look, each one of them have their own kind of harm mission as such. So there's Miss Marvel's training, there's Black Widow's, and again there's Thor's. So for example, if I show you this one real quick. Right, so here we actually are, and it's kind of just like a complete training session as such, getting used to the character. But it does award quite a bit of XP, and all you've got to do is do what it tells you to. So the first one is now what you want to do, you'll want to just basically do this up until you get to the one I'm about to show you. Right, so here we are, and it's telling me that, oh, he says as he's about to die, it's telling me that defeat enemies while overcharged by Warrior's Fury. So if you have a look, if I kill all of them off now, it's going to actually make it so that I've completed the mission. Don't do that. Instead, just literally find any other way to do it. If you've got area effects, that is perfect. So say for example with 4, if you could do it with this, that would absolutely knock them to pieces and you'd be getting lots of experience for the kills. Now doing this, you are going to get your character leveled up really ridiculously fast. Now obviously I'm hitting a bit harder because my character's kind of kitted out a little bit better, but whatever you can do to kind of kill them off will help you and get you lots of XP and get you them skills that you need so that you can then try and power level through the rest. Once you've got as much XP as you want from that, return to the Quinjet. Either that or just complete the mission, whatever's easier for yourself. Right, so that's how you get your level up, but I would honestly recommend only do that for a few levels, maybe 8 or so that you can get a bit of skills underneath your belt, and then that way go straight into the farming of the power levels. So the best thing to do for power leveling, now unfortunately it is easier for the flying characters. there's not much I can do about that. It's just the way the game's set out. They can get to everything a lot quicker and a lot easier. They don't have to climb, they're not going to fall off anything. You're just going to be able to find the chests and such a lot faster and be able to gear up a little bit quicker than the other characters. Not by much, but just by a little bit. So if you can, and if you just want a character to get to 150 and you don't mind a flying character, chuck it straight on Iron Man or Thor. Right, so here we are back in a Helicarrier. And for power leveling, I would honestly recommend running a few of these ones just here. I've run quite a lot of activities and these ones I find are by far the very best. The vaults, they are really, really good. If you can do the elite ones, do the elite ones. If you can't, then just do the normal. But the vaults tend to give you a lot of gear. So here's the war table. And again, if you're with friends, you can do this much faster, especially if they're leveled, because they will just be hitting things slightly harder than you. They're better geared. Obviously their level might lower if they're doing things on your level as such, but you will get through the content much quicker and power level really fast. So what you want to do for the first few levels will be to probably come over to here. So obviously on here I am level 9 I believe at the moment, so it will be something along the lines of this, and you'll be doing it on the lowest level. If you can't do this, then do any of the other ones that you can complete and do it as fast as possible. So here you are, and you've just spawned in, and what you want to remember is pressing the up button, especially on console that is your friend. So what we're going to do is make our way through here, and if you have a little look, we are just going to head towards all of the markers. So if you want to fight enemies, that's great, but again, that's only going to really give you the levels for your character. It's not going to get you too much gear, not at the start. He says as he looks at the mic and smashes into a wall. So again, press up, and if you have a little look, just to the right hand side there, you've got 2 question marks. Question mark, question mark, question mark. If you have a look, there's loads, absolutely loads. In these vault ones, there's upwards of 18 chests, including the hidden ones, etc., in each of the maps. It's really worth doing. One thing to note, things like this one here, watch out for that, because they can drop either resources or gear. And then what you want to do is just head to all of the other question marks, and a lot of them will contain loot. If you're playing with friends, it is easier because some of them will only be able to be opened by Widow or Iron Man, as they're kind of puzzle combinations or such, or there'll be control pads. But all you're going to do is head towards each of these and open up the loot. And even the comics are really good for you, because they give you kind of like little stat boosts on your character once you collect a certain amount of them. So again, if you look over there, over there, over there, all of these can contain gear. The vaults are by far the best. I would honestly say just keep running these, go towards each of these markers and just open them up as fast as possible. So say for example these are your best ones. So what you want to do, open this, go inside, and you've got a bit of gear, and then head on to the next one. Like I said, each one of these question marks is usually either a resource or a gear item, or sometimes it might be like a tougher enemy as such, which has the chance of dropping a gear item in itself. Do this until all of the question marks are done, and then you can either complete the mission if you want to, or even easier and faster than that, press your start button and return straight to the Quinjet. Now, if you're playing with friends, you will get this done ridiculously fast. I would say you'll probably hit 130 in a day easy, as long as you're trying. Probably above that, depending on how hard you want to grind. What I tend to do to make it even faster, if you have a little look, in between doing the missions, press your select button on the Xbox anyway, or whatever it is to get to your gear. And if you have picked up resources, because while you're doing those missions you should be looking out for crates and such, and just smashing into them, picking up resources as you go, and just kind of getting a lot under your belt that way. Now, everyone says hold off on all the resources till the end game. I honestly don't believe that. I think just use whatever you want to use to try and get your gear up for the time being. So say for example all of your items here were on level 12. If you had enough resources to power that up, power it up a little bit. So press the X button on Xbox anyway and make it go up a level. If you keep doing that with everything, the next time you go in, your gear that you're finding will be of a higher level and you'll be getting much faster power levels that way each time you go in and out of the mission. I wouldn't worry too much about the actual resources at the moment, because it's going to take you longer to actually find gear you really want on your character at endgame anyway. You might want to power stuff up, but there's no point powering it up if it's only average gear. Wait until you've got a really nice set piece or you've got something you want, and then invest in it. If you were trying to hold on to some stuff, I would say hold on to probably your upgrade modules, because they can be a bit of a pain to actually find and farm. But not that bad, there are ways around it. One last thing to note will be if you are missing any single piece of gear, so a classic example of this will probably be like the ISOs. Always make sure you can have a little look at your vendors. So for example, if you have a little look here, there may well be something here that will kind of like just level you up a little bit if there's one particular piece of gear you're missing. And like I said, the ISOs seem to be one that can actually evade you for a little while. If there's nothing there, then again you can go straight over to this one and you'll get the faction guy. And he's just down there. If there's nothing here, you could always look at the inhuman place. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about this. Mainly it's about cracking on and getting through those chests as fast as possible and gearing up. But this is just in case there's one piece of item that is kind of eluding you. Right guys and girls, so to summarise, go to the harm training room, pretty much do the character based one. Don't do the actual activity that it wants you to do, for example if it's telling you to use a special move. Instead, just keep killing enemies as fast as you can. If you can gear up a tiny little bit before you go in there, you'll make it faster. That way you'll get all of the levels you need. I'm guessing it will take you roughly 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes, depending on how geared you are, etc., to get a level each time. I myself would not probably go above 10, I think you'll get a bit bored after a while, and what I would do is once I've got a few skills on, I would go into the actual power leveling aspect, and then go straight into the vaults. Crack on and just grab as much gear from all of the question marks as you can. Like I said, if you can get a team with you, that is perfect, and after that what you want to do is teleport to the Quinjet and just rinse and repeat. In between that, power up your gear just so you're getting those extra levels for when you go back in, you'll be getting higher gear. Once you're high enough, probably best do a few villain sectors, get some DNA keys, and then once you go into the elite vaults at slightly higher levels, you'll be getting resources and better gear out of those as well. You can get them from the person who is just up here. So this lady is the shield one, and that's the villain sector where she sells all the bounties as well, and this rewards you with DNA keys. Again, you also get one down on the inhuman one. Right guys and girls, I hope that's helped a few of you out. I know it's something I wish I'd have known from the very start, as I'd have hit kind of power level a lot faster than I actually did. As always, guys and girls, if you've liked this video, then why not hit that like button, as it really helps the channel out. And if you're not subscribed, why not hit that subscribe and bell icon and join the Sofa Squad. I'll be bringing you all the latest and greatest on Xbox and soon Xbox X content. As always, take care. I'll see you on the next day.